Hey everyone, it is Ray Gaucher with Adrian Scott. Welcome to Truth and Testimony, the broadcast, and we are doing an update with Adrian Scott. Look at this guy. Finally, your studio is complete. Well, almost complete. You still have a few little things to do, don't you?
Very, very little tweaks. I still got to get my on-air sign hung up, but we're painting outside the office, which is the only reason that's not mounted already.
Right.
And I'm still getting a few sound panels and stuff up, but there's one more big piece of furniture, which is a wall-mounted desk that needs to be installed before I can fit sound panels around it.
Yeah.
And then I want to get a few sound panels, strips on the ceiling as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, other than that, I'm done.
Yeah, and you know what's really cool? I'm just going to do a little bit of this. What's really cool is you have a lot less echo in there, I'm noticing. Just from you adding the furniture and stuff in there, you don't hear it nearly as much.
Yeah, just having the basic furniture and stuff. I did get an area rug on the floor, and there is one wall that has sound paneling on it. So
yeah,
but it that already has made a big difference. So it's really just going to be 100% when I can get the rest of those panels up.
Yeah, no. So you must be really relieved that you finally got, well, majority of it done anyway.
Yeah, I can actually start recording videos.
Yeah.
I've already put up my first video, which was my Matthew chapter 5. I'm going to continue that with Matthew 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And I've also outlined my next video for my Creation and Evolution series. So that'll be getting recorded in the near future. And the big one that I'm waiting for, that I want to do, is the narration for my Israel videos, and finally get those things up.
I think the narration will go well. I mean, I know you got one of those computer fans there. I'm a computer fan. Gaming computers.
Yeah.
With what do you got on there? Like 15 fans on it or something?
It's a, I should almost get an image at some point, but yeah, it's a full gaming computer. It's RGB, this and that. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fans. 7 fans. It's an airflow case.
Keeps the house cool too. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is you can't really hear it. So
no, it's not too bad at the moment. You know, that's our secret weapon doing its thing.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Well, that's really cool. So yeah, I guess you just have to put some sound panels up just to dampen a little bit more of the echo, and then you'll be ready to go, I guess.
That's it. And then it's just throwing some decorations up. I did get one little decoration that I'm going to have to be adding in here.
Oh, your Rubik's Cube.
Come on. What 80s kid doesn't have a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know you could even get those things anymore.
Yeah, they still sell. All these years later, they're still a popular seller.
Well, I mean, even our show is being still aired out there. I had no idea if people were still airing it, but yeah, it was fun to listen to that again. We have really good chemistry. We're on when we behind the mic together. So,
you know, I think I've said it before, but I have to quickly relate it because it's one of my absolute. There's so many classic moments from those old radio shows that we did, but one of the ones that always stood out to me, and I guess maybe why it stood out to me was it was absolutely spur of the moment. It was not scripted. It was not planned. And what it was is in this one episode, we're doing a song, and it was called "I've Been in Love Before" by the Cutting Crew.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and as we're coming out of the song, you come in there and do the outro on the song. And that's the Cutting Crew. I've been in love before.
Actually, hold on. Why don't we just do it together here? Because I remember it. And that's the Cutting Crew with "I've Been in Love Before."
And I've got the restraining order to prove it. No, really, it was love.
Exactly. Or that little skit there that was on the last show that I was laughing at, that I told you that it was like we were playing I can't even say it now, electrolyte orchestra, right? And I'm like, and that's the that's a tongue twister, and you're like, that's why they call them ELO. And that's what I'm talking about. We would have that instant chemistry and we would just banter back and forth. And the funny thing is, we picked that up right the very first day
Yeah.
we got into a studio together.
And none of that was ever scripted.
No.
Not a word of it.
It was all ad-libbed.
Yeah, we just go with the flow.
Just like those episodes we did for CKNS. You've got them there on your CD. Were they 4-hour shows?
No, they were 3-hour shows.
Okay, 3-hour shows.
Yeah.
But I think that's some of the best stuff we've ever done together. And
Live.
live, on the cuff, just no scripts, nada. And
The only thing we had was a music playlist of what songs we were going to play. That's it.
that was it. And it was just, it was some of the best stuff I think we've ever done. And I would love one of these days, considering CKNS doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, we could still put those up on, we should actually put a website together that has all the 80s shows. I was telling this to Chris, and make them available again because they're relatively family friendly, back to the 80s and those other shows, and just call it Back to the 80s on demand, and then have these on as a podcast, right? Where people can just listen to them and have a good time.
Only on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Not quite. But yeah, I think that would be really cool to do something like that.
You remember when we tried to get that show on Sirius XM, and it was a good show, and then for whatever reason, we could never get them to even listen to us until later on when I started driving truck. I had a chance to hear Sirius XM, and the reason why is because they had their own 80s show. They had 4 old VJ jocks doing a top 40 countdown. It's all voice tracked. None of it was live. And a lot of the time they're like, and that's Bananarama with blah, blah, blah. And it was the Culture Club. I'm like, oh, they screwed up that that voice track. Yep. And I'm like, are you serious? You gave up a really top-notch show for that? Obviously, they had contracts. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, all those names, they were known. They were established names.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what it kind of boiled down to.
Well, they could have paid us a little bit less and got a better quality, and it would have been better for them.
Well, definitely, I agree with you.
Yeah.
You know what? The thing is, in retrospect, I can still sit there and say that we absolutely did the best we utterly could. We couldn't have done any more or worked any harder than we did. So it wasn't a big roaring success. That's fine. I can not have any regrets because we hung it all out to dry on that, and it just wasn't meant to be, at least not at that time. And frankly, I mean, fast forwarding to modern day, all of that has kind of led up to where we are now. And I think what we're doing now is much more profound and important than what we were doing with that. So it's a great memory. It's nice to look back on, but I'm happy that I'm where I'm at right now.
Sure. It was a good experience. And you know, the nice thing about it, like I was telling you before, is that that's a legacy that we're leaving behind. And the nice thing about those shows, we never dated any of them. So they can be aired anytime. You could air those things again 20 years from now. And the only difference is that when we had certain stations that were airing it, well, they were mentioned on there. Just like, and it's no different than Casey Kasem's Top 40 back in the 70s. Remember, they play those back again. And he mentions like stations like WWW, blah, 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 blah. He leaves all that stuff in there. And that's kind of classical stuff to listen to because you think about those older radio stations and a lot of them aren't even existing anymore. So that's one of the reasons why we did not want to put dates and times and all that in the show so it could be aired 10, 20 years down the road. I know this has absolutely nothing to do with Truth and Testimony, but this is our history, right?
It is, and all of that going all the way back to 1992, and honestly, even earlier than that, is what has led us to where we are now. So if those things hadn't have happened, Ray, you and I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing this update right now.
Yeah, I know. So. And you know what's amazing, though, is that when we were in school together, there wasn't a single other person there that I gravitated towards to even want to work with. There was one gal, I think even at that time, I think you might have gone on a date with her. I can't remember her name. I
The
did
only one I
a,
remember is Christy.
I think it was her. Did a little something with her, but it was really short and it wasn't anything. But nobody else in the entire class I even connected with. There wasn't any chemistry at all.
No, there wasn't. Actually, it was the same thing for myself and Christy because she had she was better with the announcer stuff,
Yeah,
the songs in and out, and my strength was more in the news read and the weather read and stuff like that.
yeah,
So to have her come out and have like, now let's take a look at local news with
yeah.
Adrian Scott, and then I'd come in so it worked not too bad there. I think really did the one thing. We only did like one session in the control room, but
Wasn't that also part of a project for Marks?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but no, I mean, honestly, the only same thing for me was the only person I ever really gravitated towards was you. And the very first time we went into a control room together, it was instant chemistry. We didn't have to rehearse it or practice it or anything. It was just there, and it's like, wow,
and
that's kind of cool.
the funny thing is that you had the stereo booth, I think. Oh no,
No, you had the stereo booth. I
had
had the mono booth.
So I had booked the stereo booth, you had booked the mono booth, and we both were in there at the same time. We're kind of looking at each other. We found a way to connect to the other one, and we're like, hey, do you want to combine it together and just do a duo here? And you're like, okay. It was
And then,
actually,
if I remember, we started giving away the equipment in the mono booth.
That's
you could
right.
win this wonderful 8-track machine, complete with cobwebs.
Yeah, that's right. And check out this priceless turntable. Yeah, that's funny, man. But anyway, those are wonderful days.
Yeah.
And I still have the original air check that we did for the very first time. So we'll have to make that public one day.
One day.
Edited.
I will say one quick little thing. Anyone who's willing to make their way, if you're not already on YouTube, over to YouTube, you can do a search for, I believe the channel was just named Power Praise Videos.
Really?
Yes, and there is one video only that we ever uploaded to that thing when
Yeah.
we were recording Power Praise Radio.
That's
Now,
right.
this was not a video show. It was a radio show. So the desk, nothing was set up to be on video. We just kind of had a webcam going or something to that effect. And we uploaded this one video. But if anyone wants to take a look at that, because how old is that now? I think that was posted 13 or 14 years ago or something like that.
I know. I had long hair.
Yeah.
I
that
had
wasn't
hair.
too terribly long after you got rid of your mustache, which you had for a little
Oh,
while.
yeah,
there.
the cheesy little mustache that I had there. Yeah. Those
But
are
if
fun
anyone
days.
wants to take the time and go do a little poking around, I think you can search for Power Praise Videos and you can see a little clip of Ray and I from like 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah, no, that was fun stuff. So, what's, I guess you're probably going to have everything in there, completed probably easily by the end of the month. It'll all be done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm operational right now, as evidenced by getting my first video out. So that's great. There's just those little tweaks. The big thing right now is I did just transition in, because I used to work on my little laptop computer and do all my editing and uploading from there. I wanted to get it on my main desktop computer. Yes, it's a gaming computer, but part of that means it's got a pretty powerful processor. And it's good at doing video rendering and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So in switching to that computer, I wanted to switch the video editing software that I was using. So I got this new program going, and now
Do you like it?
I am falling in love with it quickly.
Yeah.
It is so good, and it has so many features. Even there's a paid and a free version. Even the free version is still loaded. I mean, it's everything you need to get a professional looking video done. And so I've just been kind of transitioning away from the building the studio and getting that all done to getting myself a little more familiar with the software. Still learning, like I've got a 400-page manual for this camera, so there's still things I'm learning on the camera as well.
Well, it's
I'm a
good
radio
to
guy. You know
Yeah.
that, right? I'm a radio guy going back to 1992. So, learning cameras now and video editing software, and
Yeah.
it's a lot to take on. And then trying to script videos and do research, because when I do stuff, I like to speak naturally, so I don't fully script anything I'm doing, because I want to talk from my heart. But I do like to outline stuff and have references that I go. So I always try to have those references for stuff that I'm doing. So that it's not just me speaking, that I'm actually citing a source. Usually I make it the Bible, but that I'm citing a source of some kind, and that I provide those sources as I'm talking.
Well, that's always been our strength, ad-libbing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I just, to me, I've always felt when I listen back to myself, if I was doing anything off a script, I'd get to the end of it and listen, and I said, that sounds fake. It doesn't sound sincere. Yeah. And I think that's what turned me off to that. So it's like, yes, I might pause here and there. I might lose my train of thought for a second. I might repeat something, but I'd rather speak naturally from the heart than read a script.
Well, the last Bible break that you did, that was one shot. I don't think you did any editing. Was there any editing in that at all?
I had to cut out one tiny little thing.
Okay, but, didn't even notice.
Other than that, it was a pretty straight go.
Yeah, and that was from the heart, right? That's a read that's like, okay, I'm not here to make it perfect. I'm just going to read it to you and share it with you from the top of my heart. And so yeah, it was good. It turned out good. And it's kind of cool because during the process, even before you started with the studio, these updates you would do with your phone. So now you got your camera finally working with everything. I don't know what else to say except thumbs up, buddy. It looks really good, and glad to see you finally got that done. And you can actually officially say you've got your own little studio now. And I know you've been wanting that for years.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, it kind of got put on the back burner for a while because I really stopped after we stopped doing Power Praise. I kind of stopped doing anything.
Yeah.
Right. I just was kind of moving on with my life, so I wasn't thinking too much about a studio at that point. But even I had my own.
Thanks to me, I get you involved with.
Yeah, but no, I had kind of started my own personal YouTube channel, and I just kind of put up a couple of little things.
Yeah.
Whatever random stuff. There wasn't any real theme to the channel, but I still wasn't thinking too seriously about it. But the last personal video that I did start thinking, it's like, boy, it would be nice if I could actually record these things a little more professionally, just make them look a little more polished,
Yeah.
And then it wasn't too terribly long after that you approached me and asked if I'd be interested in joining in on the Truth and Testimony. And
yeah, then you just went crazy.
Well, now I got to do it better,
And you didn't waste any time. He gets a camera. He gets all the stuff he needs. I mean, it didn't take you long. And even your wife said, he's got that spark in his eye again.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to when you finally relax and sitting there. And I love your chair, man. That thing looks like you could sleep in that thing. Does it go horizontal?
No, but you know what? I can't show it on camera right now. I'd have to play with the tripod. but part of the effect of this is it actually has a footstool that I can pull out. There we go, and put my feet up.
Oh yeah.
So I can recline a little bit this way.
The only thing that chair doesn't do is light up. Or does it?
Hold on, let me just
No.
No, it doesn't light up, but you know what? This wonderful chair, one thing that it does have, it actually has a powered back massage.
Oh, nice.
That's the reason I got it, is because I have chronic back problems.
Yeah, you've always had an issue with your back.
Yeah, and this thing actually has a lumbar massage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like all these little Asian hands working your back.
You got to be careful though, because it is noisy.
Even
Even noisier than the gaming computer.
Oh, that's funny. Well, that's awesome. So what are your plans for the night there? You're just about ready to go back upstairs, and you must be absolutely relieved that at least you got that's going to be a nice thing. You've got that. I knew you had problems trying to get that camera to connect, and I know you were trying to figure that out. Now that problem has been resolved, that must be a huge weight off your shoulder.
You know what? So to get back to the first question, I'm going to go spend a little bit of time with the wife. We're so wrapped up in our day-to-day stuff, and she's got her business going, and I've been working on this, that we've neglected each other a little bit, and so I'm going to go take care of that. But as far as the other thing goes, I'll tell you, getting the studio done, an enormous weight off the shoulder. That's the biggest weight off the shoulders.
Yeah.
Getting this camera figured out to be able to do stuff like this, that was the next one.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, it's like I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Good.
So
right on. Well, you know what? I'm not going to keep you from wanting to spend time with the wife. Thanks for the get together, for the update, and only good things to come from here.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And I still point out, I've said it before, for everyone watching, if you haven't already, subscribe, whether it be on YouTube or Rumble, and get the notifications going on that, because Ray and we are going to be doing a lot more stuff and more variety of stuff. And 2024, I think, is going to be a pretty big year for us and for Truth and Testimony, the broadcast. And really, here's my sales pitch. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, you don't.
Like the videos, share, and like I said, subscribe.
And you know what? I'm going to close with this. As you know, I'm starting a podcast with my other channel. I am super excited about that. That is pretty well the equivalent of doing a radio show, but it's going to be more talk. And you never know, later on, once things settle down, you just never know. We may end up doing something like that with Truth and Testimony, as well as a podcast that can be made available as a download on people's phones, where they can listen to Bible readings, they can listen to conversations about what's going on, but back on radio form as well as video. So we plan to expand and do a lot of fun stuff, all for the glory of God. You know what? We didn't do this before, but I couldn't find a better opportunity now, because you have so much to be thankful for. Mr. Scott, why don't you just close out with a prayer?
All right. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam. That's always the way I like to start it. Blessed are you, Yehovah, our God, King of the universe. Truly, we thank you, we praise you, we lift your name on high. We honor you, and we are humbled before you with your compassion and your love for us and your mercy. You are Abba, you are Father, you are Dad. And we just thank you that you have kept us alive and preserved us for just such time as this, that you see to our needs every day. And I personally thank you, Father, that you have allowed this transition and this project to happen for me. I want to turn around and use it as much as I possibly can to glorify you before everyone around me. And that's my primary goal in having this done. It's not for me to have a pretty room with lights. It's for me to glorify you and to be a light, or for you to be able to be a light through me to the world, through this medium. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that.
Amen. I want to close with one thing. I have received today, and if oh geez, I can't get this wrong here. Somebody had sent me a really nice gift today. I got it in the mail from Jim and Jerry from Lafayette, Indiana. 52 Hebrew words every Christian should know. Okay? This is a beautiful book. Look at the workmanship on this book. Right? This is beautiful stuff. Basically, it's 52 Hebrew words that will make your I'll have to lend this to you when I'm done with this.
Yeah.
You would really enjoy this. Like, for example, do you know what the Shema is?
Oh, what? Sorry.
Shema.
Oh, Shema.
Shema. See, I don't even know how to say half of this. Okay, I want to read something to you, and we'll close with this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is such a beautiful book, and I don't know. I'm going to be learning a little bit of Hebrew here doing this, but obviously I'm not going to know as much as you do. But the Shema, is that how you say it?
Yes.
This is, I guess,
which basically means hear and obey.
This is a prayer, apparently, that I guess people of Israel, they read this first thing in the morning. And in this chapter, it says, when this person was going through bad times or they were dealing with things in the world that were just crazy, this is something they would read first thing in the morning, and it would take their mind off of the things of the world, and more their mind would be now focused on God. So I wanted to read this. It's out of Deuteronomy 6:4-9. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. The commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them with you." Sorry, this is small. "With you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your forehead. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates." And that's nice. You probably are familiar with that.
Extremely.
Yeah.
To take it one step further, it's this incredible prayer, but it is profoundly sacred to the Jewish people. It may be one of the most important things that they will recite is the Shema. It is central to that culture. It is very big. There's a story, and I'll make this one very quick. I don't want to get too dark about this, but it connects to World War II. So in the light of the Holocaust, when all of these horrors were going on, there was one particular story. It was a man telling this story. He was a boy at the time. I'm not sure how old. He was young, 8 or 10 years old or something like that. But they had gone into the village where he lived, and they had rounded up the Jewish people they could find, lined them up for a firing squad with the big mass grave behind them. And they just shoot them all, and they fall into the hole and then cover it over. And he's standing there amidst all his Jewish family and friends and community, and they're getting ready to shoot, and he said he could hear all of them in this line, and whispering under their breath, they were all saying the Shema.
Wow.
Like it's very important. So that's incredible that you said that, Ray. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was a blessing to me.
Yeah, and you know something? It just goes to show how that prayer, which obviously can be made into a prayer, the blessings that come from reading it and the strength that comes from reading it. And you know what? I'm going to make it a plan to read that every morning when I wake up. So it's the first thing that comes off of my lips.
We say it every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. So again, Jim and Jerry, thank you Jim, come on. Jim and, it is Jim and Jerry. Jerry's the I guess his wife. And Lafayette, Indiana. Thank you so much again for sending this wonderful book. Mr. Scott's going to get a chance to read this when I'm done with it. It's thin enough, but like I said, like the pages are like that just incredible stuff.
Yeah. And
really,
Hebrew
really
is such a fascinating language. It truly is. I mean, I have a couple of videos in my Hebrew Roots series where I talked about different words.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like so much of Hebrew does that. It is an amazing language.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Well, you know what? We'll do this again real soon, and I hope you guys have a really nice evening. And say hi to Kristen. Tell her I appreciate how hard she's working on the log she's doing for my tax return. Yeah. I know she's working hard on that. So, give everyone a hug and a kiss for me, and we'll talk to you soon. And you be blessed. All right.
I will. Thank you, and you as well.
All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this little update with myself and Adrian Scott. And be sure to subscribe, like, and share the channel with someone else who you think would benefit from this. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye for now, and God bless.